was in the region, and some of our youth presented a petition to him in line with the road project that has been awarded, and virtually nothing is going on that road. So that is the atmosphere in Wa now. The people are saying they want their road fixed.
Want their roads fixed. Right. Good afternoon to the people of Wa, especially those of you in Golu. Like Golu specifically, I spent some time there in Golu, and so I have some.
That is a Sisala West.
Yes, Sisala West. Yeah, but I was in Sisala East is I think Tumu, right?
Sisala East is
Tumu. Yes, so I was in Tumu, but then I also was in Sisala East, and the place that, like, even from Tumu to Golu, the road was
also bad. Yeah. I think you can see these marks. That was where I had my accident.
Oh, okay.
That was on the 14th of November on a campaign trail with a friend who is late now. And I would say,
as a result of the accident, your friend
on the accident. He me, sir. So I will use this opportunity to also say, may he rest in perfect peace.
Then the road situation is really terrible.
Sure.
You have felt at first hand the debilitating effect of the road condition. Sure. We are hoping that
it's also been said to be given on contract, but
work hasn't started.
It has started, but
it's at a snail pace.
That's it.
Okay.
So that's what the people are advocating for. We want our roads.
When it comes to road, I think it's. I mean, there's a non-partisan approach to it, because even Audu Ishak comes here and then speaks, loudly about the road situation,
and that is one thing we will have to applaud some of our friends in the NDC for, especially in the Upper West region. You have known foot soldiers of the NDC that are out there advocating that the government should fix the roads. Those even who were leading that petition are known NDC people. So for that, like you are saying, we come together when it's about our roads. We come together to advocate.
At the end of the day, it is in the interest of everybody. Not people who belong to a political party.
Sure.
Yeah. Right. Let's move on. Once again, if you're just joining us, this is the national agenda, and this afternoon we are looking at a post shared by the minister responsible for communications, Honorable Felix Kwachiofu. He says the Bureau of National Intelligence arrested the following persons affiliated to PDS last week as part of investigations into the transfer of large sums of money believed to belong to ECG. Mr. Kwachi wrote in a Facebook post titled Oral Update. He identified the individuals as Philip Ayensu, Viraj Fat, that sounds Indian, Sophia Koko, and Justice Minka Premo, adding that they have been since granted bail while investigations continue. But we do know that PDS took over the operations of ECG in the ESWAL administration, I beg your pardon, on 1st March 2019. Like I said, this was supposed to bring some reforms to ECG particularly, and that did not see the light of day. This current government, which was opposition then, raised some red flags about the PDS deal. Consequently, government had to abandon it, but we all would agree that it didn't come at zero cost. It came at some cost, and so some corruption allegedly has taken place over there. But then this brings me to a particular question. If you look at our current energy issues, the many issues that we are facing in the energy sector, barring what transpired at Akosombo, where some were made to understand that some turbines went off, and then as a result of that, 1,000 megawatts of power was knocked off the national grid, and so some places or some communities had to experience intermittent power supply. Barring that, we've always, over the last few months, we faced very serious energy issues. Today, my light went off twice. today, this morning, my light went off twice. And so, aside the Akosombo issue, there is a power problem that we all cannot run away from. I want to find out from Selom Dramani Jamado, does this PDS issue also feed into the many issues that we are experiencing in the energy sector, one way or the other?
Okay. Bless, thank you very much for the opportunity, and a very good afternoon to all your esteemed and cherished viewers who are glued to their set watching the National Agenda live. And a very good afternoon to Baba from Upper West. Upper West, and my very first time being on a program with you, as I've been seeing your stuff on social media platforms. You write a lot. So when I saw the flyer and I saw your picture there, I said, oh, okay, very first time I will meet you in person, and great to meet you here. Bless. You know, to the extent that I have actually not done any independent scientific analysis on the woes of ECG, which is the key or the principal power distributor in Ghana, following the takeover of that company by PDS. Since that agreement was somehow terminated on the account of corruption and corruption-related issues surrounding the whole arrangement. So government had to step in to terminate it, thanks to the outrage, the legitimate outrage expressed by Ghanaians over how ECG was taken over by PDS. I am unable to say that some of the struggles of the ECG now, it's as a result of what happened when they entered into that agreement with PDS.
Yeah.
Yes, my only delight I drew from the whole thing when I heard that some 4 persons have been arrested by the Bureau of National Investigation in respect of the PDS, was that this particular administration that is being superintended by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama promised the good people of this country that he would implement what he dubbed and coined as Operation Retrieve All Loads. I can tell you for a fact that most Ghanaians, or majority of Ghanaians, voted for the NDC because of Operation Retrieve All Loads, oral. So there was a huge expectation and anticipation that the erstwhile appointees of the erstwhile regime will be investigated thoroughly, would be, especially those found culpable or found to have conducted themselves in a corrupt manner or found to have plundered the resources of this country, will be dealt with, and whatever they may have looted from the state would have been retrieved or recovered by the administration. So when I saw that Mr. Felix Osukwachi, who handles the communication of the government, actually puts this very case under oral, I was happy. I was happy, and it gave me sense that government itself is acutely aware that they cannot fail to implement ORA. If they fail to implement ORA, some people are ready to take them on. We will take them on so that it will serve as a deterrent to any politician, especially those in opposition. So when they are making campaign promises, they will make achievable, attainable
promises,
realistic promises to the good people of this country. I don't think the promise, this oral promise, it's not an attainable thing. Look, majority of Ghanaians perceive the NPP or the Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo kleptocratic regime as a very corrupt one. You understand? Majority of us perceive that administration and its appointees as corrupt, as people who looted this country with gay abandon. So with this PDS thing, yes, the only thing I would ask the government to do is that it shouldn't just be one of those false dawns where they raise our hopes and then they dash the hope. No. People who use their public office for their private gains, those people should be punished. So why? The government at the time had done some analysis on the ECG and thought that public or private participation in the distribution of energy would give us reliable electricity supply, which we have this uninterrupted electricity supply that we have been contending with, by allowing private participation in that sector, especially in the distribution sector. There will be some respite for, or there would have been some respite for Ghanaians. But it turned out that the whole arrangement was hastily done, and it was done so because some people saw it as an opportunity to make the state dry. You understand? So the whole thing, like you use the correct word, that the PDS turned out to be nothing but a fiasco. It turned out to be nothing but a damn squib. You understand? So, again, thanks to the uproar and the outrage expressed by Ghanaians, which compelled the government to terminate the whole exercise. And I'm happy that these people are on the heels of those who were engaged in that exercise. But I want to say, again, that with this behind-the-scene consultation sometimes, you understand that, oh, this person, you know, was my classmate here, we come from the same town, we happen to be in the same church, which is affecting the fight of corruption, the fight against corruption. That approach should not be given to this matter. It should be, people should be hauled over the coals. That is what some of us want. And that is the reason we want an independent, permanent, constitutionally backed office of special prosecutor, which will take politicians and their hands off these things. It will even help the politicians, you understand? Because you yourself, you know that when you are involved in corruption and corruption-related cases or offenses and you are caught, the special prosecutor is an independent person. You cannot go to that person and be pleading on behalf of whoever is caught. You understand? Engaging in corruption. So, PDS, yes, those people, I'm sure if the investigation is done and done very well, some other big wigs would definitely, because at the time that arrangement was being done, there were big names that cropped up in that arrangement. We want to hear those names. Yeah? Those ones that appear like they are so powerful that even if they can always go scot-free, they will be, like they can break our laws with impunity. We want those ones. We want the investigation linked to those people. We are not prejudging it, but if indeed those names that cropped up during this arrangement, the ECG arrangement with PDS, especially when PDS took over, those names that we heard as also people who were involved in that deal, we want investigation to unravel if indeed those people were involved in that deal, and we want to know the extent of their involvement in the deal. Thank you. That will be my preliminary submission on this one. Thank you.
Right. And many thanks to Solomon Dramani Jamado for his preliminary submission on this particular matter. We are discussing PDS Power Distribution Service. Like I earlier stated, they came into being in 2019. After they were a private entity. They were supposed to take over ECG, you know, some parts of ECG, especially in terms of, you know, power distribution. And the government gave them a target. There was a $350 million guarantee. They were supposed to provide a valid demand guarantee to protect the state. And like I said, the then opposition, the National Democratic Congress particularly, they raised red flags over this particular deal. They felt that it wasn't in the interest of the country. By October 2019, the deal had been terminated. Yes, just a few months after it came into being, by October 2019, the PDS deal had been terminated. Now we understand that 4 persons linked to PDS have been arrested by the Bureau of National Investigation. That is the BNI. What is their crime? They are alleged to have moved huge sums of money, transferred huge sums of money belonging to the Electricity Company of Ghana. The specific amounts the minister responsible for communication did not state. But Baba Wala is a member of the New Patriotic Party's communications team. He, I'm sure, has a lot to say about this particular issue, especially also because there's a deal that happened under their administration, and so Ghanaians should be wanting to know if it was corruption laden, as the NDC made Ghanaians to believe when the PDS came into being.
Thank you once again for the opportunity. I think particular issue of PDS at this particular moment, where oral is mentioned, PDS is mentioned, and ECG is mentioned, it tells you that it has a lot to do with the power situation that we are in today, and not just about the money, but because of the doomsday that you and I are suffering, because of the doomsday that the MPP and the NDC are all suffering. I say this because the government of the day seems to be so perfect in setting certain agendas to take the minds of the Ghanaian people from the very issues that we should be discussing. We have doomsday today that we all should be discussing on what solutions that we should prefer to see us out of doomsday. But the government seems to be so much more bothered about its image than solving the power situation. The government seems to want to take the minds of the Ghanaian people from discussing the issue of doomsday and rather discussing the issue of corruption, either of the previous administration or things that were done by former appointees. I say this because looking at the arrests being done with the posts that have been made, there are certain questions that we should be asking, because even the posts haven't been able to tell us how much is involved. When were these funds transferred? When were these funds transferred? Because PDS, as we all know, ended in the same 2019, that is few months after the deal was signed, leading to certain issues of corruption, where even Sami Jemfi in February 2024 made us to understand that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia will have to face the law in line with PDS, just like those big names were mentioned, like my senior here said. But Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia was one of the people that was mentioned and alleged to be involved in this issue of PDS. So from 2019 till date, if PDS deal was cancelled in 2019, and it's today that when we are in the midst of doomsday, we are hearing issues of transfers of funds, when oral itself promised us that when NDC assumed office, a lot of those corrupt issues that they allege about, people will be prosecuted. Just today, you will see that the soul of oral, the actions of the AG tells you that the soul of oral has left oral itself, because just today, the buffer stock CEO, cases against him that were, charges against him has been withdrawn by the AG, and he has been re-arrested. And that tells you that
Re-arrested on what charges?
What we are told is that they have fresh charges against him.
So what it means is that the previous charges that were,
what it means that all the sheets that were piled up handed over to John Dramani Mahama by Ablakwa. I don't know whether it was printed from his printing press that affords him that huge money enough to have a place at Airport Hills. I don't know whether that was where they printed all these sheets. It means that all what they presented to the president were, we can say, was just non-fa. Because it means what it means is that it is from these same sheets that these particular charges against the buffer stock CEO that was taken to court has been withdrawn. And now there's a rearrest. What it means is that whatever was in those sheets concerning a buffer stock CEO are off. So coming back to the issue of PDS, if allegations were laid against people and we were told that they will be prosecuted when the party assumes power, when you mention the issue of arrest, any sane Ghanaian who wants the forward march of this nation would have been happy to say that yes, thieves are arrested, they should be put behind bars, they should be prosecuted. We should have been clapping for Oral, but Oral has proven to us that these are just mere allegations that they do, because these 4 arrests like we are seeing, when you ask the question of how much is involved, when were these transferred done, does it mean that PDS was dead in 2019 and yet still the ghost of PDS is with ECG and transferring funds to other people, just like Momo transactions? Because we need to know whether those funds were transferred in 2019 before the deal was cancelled. We need to know who were the big hands behind these 4 people that these transfers were made. Because it is not just possible that these 4 people are the only or are those who engineered these transfers when they are not the big names around the same PDS deal that we had in that 2019. So for me, I think this whole arrest is just to take the minds of the Ghanaian people from Dumso, when the NDC and the NPP should have been on a common table for us to discuss how do we solve Dumso, because a lot of reasons or a lot of excuses have been generated, more than the power that should have been generated to solve Dumso. Because we heard of pythons, you heard it. My brother here heard of pythons. We heard of the Akosombo issue. We heard of Greco boss suspension because people are sabotaging ECG for the government, or sabotaging the government of the day for us to face Dumso, so that it will be like a bad image. And with all these things around, with all the arrests, the suspensions, the allegations that are around, when we should have been looking at solutions, we are going back to pick the issue of PDS that ended in 2019. Yes, let us say that crime has no expiry date, but to have Felix Ofosu Kwachi, who is now maybe the PRO of the investigative body, giving us the information, tells you that that agenda that we are all seeing, that the government sets for us all to discuss, and leaving the most important issue of proffering solutions so that you and I can have power at homes. When just today, when I posted about this program, because this is my first time coming to Pan Africa TV, and maybe even my first time sitting as a panel on TV discussing. So a lot of friends that I had were now on social media telling me that because of Dumso they might not be able to watch. So my sitting here, that would have at least added some kind of audience from my hometown to Pan-African TV, it might not be forthcoming because of the Dumso that we are suffering. So should we not all be interested in how we solve Dumso, than we setting an agenda to take the minds of the people, the minds of people that would have been proffering solutions for us to fix Dumso, into discussing issues that should have been dead and gone by now. By now, I think that NDC should have been done with prosecutions, because that is what we were told. But even Malik Basentale that announced this issue of Oral to us, that made allegations against the Sisala East MP, Honorable Amidou Chinie. You said you were at Bolu. Tumu, the Sisala East
former
MP. We all heard Basentale loud and clear saying that Honorable Amidou Chinie will be prosecuted and jailed when the NDC comes to power, using Oral. Just few weeks ago, when he was questioned on why Amidou Chinie is still a free man, he told us that Amidou Chinie had returned all the properties that he acquired from government, the lands that he bought to do a filling station, the land that he bought and his radio station is sitting on, has been returned to government. And we are only left to ask a question of whether now that radio station belongs to government, because people that Honorable Chinye employed to work in that radio station are the same people that are there. We ask the question of whether that filling station that is non-existent, I have never seen that filling station, whether it now belongs to government. So it tells you that.
But did Honorable Chinye deny owning a filling station?
Honorable Chinye denied owning a filling station. What he didn't deny is that he never denied owning a radio station. And what Honorable Chinye said is that the radio station, he has not denied that the radio station is not sitting on a government land. But his point was that it is not illegal to acquire or purchase a government property.
Right.
It depends on the due process with which you have followed to acquire that property.
Right.
Yes, so for me, I think oral, the soul of oral, with the behavior of the AG, with the behavior of the NDC itself, what they told us and what is happening, the soul of oral has left it. And I don't think that there's anything, because you yourself, after reading this or after seeing this, would ask the question of whether there will be prosecutions.
But to be fair to the government on the current energy issues, I mean, we've said that they raised flags about, or they raised concerns about what had happened, and it's true actually about what had happened in Akosombo. The fact that 1,000 megawatts of power was off the national grid. But then, to be fair as well, government has made it abundantly clear that we have issues with transformers, and these transformers are being replaced. Government has come out with timelines, with which the completion of the replacements of these transformers will be done. There's a phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and phase 4. So between 4 months to 2 years, that is the period within which these transformers will be replaced. And so if there's a transformer replacement, then ostensibly, obviously, electricity would go off in some neighborhoods, and it is an exercise that is being done concurrently. It's being done across the country as well too. And so certain places may go off, and it may not necessarily mean that we have a power generation deficit, but only because of that infrastructural replacement relative to these poles and masts. That is the reason.
The government is not being honest with us.
What is the? Tell me what's the honest truth behind
you heard the energy minister days ago told us that the power situation has now been fixed.
Yes.
You heard him right.
Yes.
So how can it again be that transformers? You said just this morning when your light went off twice.
Yes.
And understand, what we all know is that these transformers, if I have a transformer in my area that is faulty, it has to do with my area and not your area. So if my transformer is faulty and they are fixing my transformer, it shouldn't affect where you are living. So if you wake up this morning and your light goes off thrice, meanwhile you haven't seen any change of transformers in your area where you will say that ECG is here working and changing transformers, it would have been justifiable.
I mean, let me be quick to add that my light's going off twice. It didn't go off for a very long period.
Yes.
I think the first one lasted about 10 minutes.
Yes.
The second one lasted
one lasted
about 20 minutes.
That is why you have the MPP telling you that this situation that we are facing, it is not the issue of pythons like we are told. It is not the issue of the Akosombo issue that happened that like we are told. It is not the issue of transformers like we are told. It has a lot to do with finances. It has a lot to do with fueling the machine so that we can have enough power generation. And that is why you have the same government now chasing people of PDS to say that funds that they needed to use to ensure that we have stable power have been squandered by either these 4 people or with their accomplices. So the government sincerely is not being honest with us, because, like I said, a lot of excuses have been generated more than the power that should have been generated to keep the lights on for us.
Is there an admission? But okay, I understand you. But is there an admission that there is a change of transformers going on currently? Because I've heard
yes, change, because we have even been told, we have been told by the former ECG boss that the transformers that they are using today were acquired under the MPP government. That's what
the former ECG boss told us, yeah.
Yes. And those are the containers that we were earlier on told by this current energy minister that they were missing.
Okay.
So if they have if those missing containers today are found, who did they get them from? Where were they found? Okay. Who took them there? So what I am saying is that there's no honesty from this government, because you understand that even just when NDC assumed office, the energy minister told us that we were left with 4 hours of fuel to have power. We went beyond a week, a month, 2, because they were preparing our minds to feel that the NDC, the MPP left behind an economy that is a doomsday economy, which was not true.
I remember that, but that had to do with fuel.
Well, if you tell us that we are left with 4 hours of fuel for us to go back to doomsday, then within that 4 hours, I don't know the magic that was done for us to have enough fuel to keep the lights on for months before we started experiencing that issue of doom. So what I understand about the NDC is that they knew that as they were coming to assume office, they will be facing again the issue of doom, so because they don't have the ideas on how to keep our lights on. Yeah, because it's always been the case that when the NDC is back to power, then we are discussing doom. So
it appears Selom has been taken out of the conversation, but Selom Dramani Jamado, I remember, I think it was in 2024, where 2024 or 2023, remind me, where you staged a demonstration. Yeah, a doomsday must stop vigil, and Yvonne Nelson was part. Yeah.
So, what Baba said, that it is not true that the Mahama administration inherited a doomsday situation. Baba, I vehemently disagree with you. The fact remains that the power situation in 2024 was nothing to write home about. The government at the time struggled, and it just like they papered over crack and handed it to this administration. I am kind of hard put to not to appear like an NDC communicator here, because the NDC, they have enough communicators who communicate for them. But as an activist who is in the political space, I owe it myself and to the forward march of this country to say what I know is the truth. You understand? Baba, on the 8th June 2024, a group of Ghanaians staged vigil, a protest dubbed Doomsday Must Stop Vigil. They marched from the University of Ghana to the Tetekwashi roundabout. It's something documented. Even what caused there was some back and forth between us, the organizers, and the police. We were taken to court that because we disagreed with the police on the venue, because we chose the Revolution Square, and the police said no, we should go to the Independence Square, and we said that we chose the Revolution Square because of its historical antecedent and its proximity to the presidency. That's why we settled on that. But the police wouldn't take any of this. So then we reached a compromise that okay, now we'll do it. We'll start the thing. The protest from University of Ghana campus to Tetekwashi roundabout. So that was the compromise we reached, which had rendered what the exercise the police took to the court to restrain us, it had rendered it moot. So there is no gainsaying that the NDC or Mahama administration inherited a precarious power situation. That is doomsday. The government at the time didn't fix the problem. They left a decay and deterioration which this government inherited. That is true. So you are asking that the government be honest and aid communication to the public. I agree with you 100% that the government should not at any point in time try to be dishonest in communicating the real issues, but confronting our energy sector. They should always tell us the truth, because if they don't tell us the truth and then we find out, because we can also reason. You understand? Just like what you said, that the Pythons, they said there was a power outage in certain areas because of Python. But I never heard any government or like official government spokespersons put this thing out.
No, that's what that one is propaganda. That's what that one is propaganda. I've seen. So I saw there was a video.
There is a diligent effort on the part of government to get this problem resolved.
Yes.
So in that area where that Python was found, it was an exercise the ECG was undertaken.
Yes, where they found this,
they found that thing.
Yeah,
Baba, who is the man?
Now this is propaganda, of course.
So does Baba agree that what he said is tinged with some level of propaganda?
Oh, now that one he knows. Now it's
so Baba.
It is communication propaganda.
So Baba admits
it is a way to just embellish.
So does Baba agree that what he said about the Python was both exaggeration and embellishment?
Yes, it was.
If ECG is giving excuses and government
ECG was undertaking an exercise, and it was in the course of that exercise that they came in contact with that Python.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
Which exposed something. You know what that exposed? Long years of decay. You understand? Because when I saw that, that was what dawned on me.
Yeah.
That indeed the system, our energy system, has what deteriorated. So this government is taking the bull by the horn to get the problem solved permanently. I can see that thing on the part of the current administration, unlike the previous one. The previous one was, they had grossly mistaken good governance. They had grossly mistaken governance for gaslighting. And throughout the 8 years, that was what they did. They subjected this the Ghanaian public to gaslighting. You remember this doomsday thing? Nanado himself, the president of the republic at the time, told us there was nothing like doomsday. He said it. When people were clearly telling him that, Mr. President, we are going through doomsday, so for you to be telling us there's no doomsday, that cannot be true. Clearly, the president was engaging in gaslighting, and that is what I don't want this administration to do. Because today, look, bless, by 6 a.m. in Adidome today, light off. It was not announced. That is the exasperating one. That is what I don't want.
Yes.
You should always be on top of the communication. You should always be telling the people. If you suspect that power will be going off, let the people know. Because we have radio stations, community...
so that people can plan around.
Baba, what's the name of this community, whatever, this thing with the...
with the mass...
With the head that they do now. Community radio... Not community radio stations. Community centers, like information centers, that's the name. That's the information centers. We have them now, all over. In my constituency, for instance, almost all the communities have these information centers now. So quickly, radio the distance through them, and it announced to the communities. Then they know that power will be off between this period. But without telling us, Sunday, for instance, I posted it on Facebook with my Doomsday T-shirt that for 10 hours we had been without electricity. And at the time when I posted that thing, that was around 6 p.m. So the light had gone off in the morning, and it was around 6 p.m. Then I made an announcement, or I made a post on Facebook. You know when the light was restored? 1:30 a.m. I checked. I was still there because of the blistering heat.
You couldn't sleep.
I couldn't go. And so I was wondering. Okay, so my people on the NPP people, they're also saying that there's doomsday. Then they say, but these guys who were like stunned to the whatever of doomsday today, they are telling us that there's no doomsday. No, the thing is that for us to say that there's doomsday, then it means that the doomsaw etymology has changed. You understand? Because we know what doomsaw is. In 2016, between 2012 and 2016, there was a debilitating power crisis. Debilitating power crisis which put enormous relentless pressure on the government at the time, which was superintended by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. He did what they could to put the situation to bed. Now somebody inherited the situation when the lights were on, and you remember when the president President Nana Danko Akufo-Addo went to Parliament on the to deliver the State of the Nation address. He said that he had promised to put the lights on, and indeed the lights are on. You remember that?
Yeah.
Yes. So for us to do some basic content analysis, it presupposes that at the time he was saying that thing to the people's representatives, somebody switched on the light before he came. That is why he promised to keep the lights on. He didn't say to us that he promised to switch on the lights. He never said so.
He promised to keep it on.
He promised to keep the light on. So it's like today we are drifting from this PDS whatever. But critical to this PDS thing is the doomsaw thing, and it's affecting because today, like I said at the Dome, they have been without light for a couple of hours.
Right.
Yourself, you just referred to it. Government should take the communication in that arena very seriously. Right. And there should be honesty.
Right. I'm not going to play the devil's advocate, but this is something that I know.
But as a journalist, if you want to play devil's advocate, your job demands you do it sometimes.
I'm a regular caller of ECG. Me, as soon as my light goes out, I'm calling you to find out why have you taken my light? Because I have paid for it already.
Yes,
you are promised to do. So why haven't you given it? Why is my light? So as soon as my light goes off, I call ECG. I ask them the reason behind it, and 9 times out of 10, I'm told that it is a fault. It is an electrical fault. I can't say that they are lying. I do not work with them, and so when they tell me that it is a fault,
you have no reason.
I have no other option than to take them. Then I proceed to ask them, what time will they restore the light? 7 out of 10, 7 times out of 10, they tell me they don't know. Sometimes they tell me that just about 3 out of 10, they tell me that, oh, within so and so hours, our technicians are working on it. Within so and so hours, it will be fixed. I'm saying this based on what you said about your community and the fact that the lights go out for long hours.
And it seems that the rural communities, they tend to be taking this thing is having a toll on them, because sometimes government smartly does that. It's not only this one. That is the nature of government. For the urban areas, they must always
they look at where the economic activities is bringing in
and
more money.
where if you are not careful, people can rise up against you. It's the urban areas. History has never shown.
That is why I said that this government is playing kind of politics.
I'm not saying that this. Saying that
all these
it is the nature of government.
All these are conjectures.
No, if you read,
but it is conjecture.
I am saying to you that I am saying to you that if you know how government operates, for urban areas, the urban areas composed of a certain
class of people. Their literacy level and
very good.
Yeah.
So let me tell you, if today there is starvation or famine, alekiai, in a particular country, you know what government will start doing? Those in urban areas. It's key that you provide, you let food stuff go to those areas. Because if you don't get them what they need, they are able to mobilize and rise up against you. Because what happens is that people within that segment, you can find, the leader, you can find people who can reason just like you and even more. You understand? So that is why in situations like that, let's say if there's doomsaw, the economic, where does the economic activity take place more? It's the urban areas.
Yes.
So, okay, you know what? Let these people suffer. Even for those people to even get us information that this is what they are going through, do you know it's difficult? Today as we speak, do you know the people who suffered that reckless exercise embarked on by VRA? The VRA,
the dam spillage.
The dam spillage. You remember? You remember their plight.
Yeah. You
remember that, do you know today as we speak, there's some groundswell of agitation amongst those people? Because the government today, when they were in opposition, they promised them something. Today they are in government. And they had done some budgetary allocation for those people. But do you know what? There is nobody coming from those areas now to tell the government that, government, you tell us the flood victims in Adidome, in Bakba, in all those Dovel, Atitepo, those areas who have been affected by the dam spillage. Very good, Central Tong, North Tong, South Tong. You promise us that as flood victims, you have a package for us. You have something at least, so we can to alleviate our plight. You are not giving it to us. Who do you think will be making that thing for them? So some groundswell of agitation in the areas, the constituencies you have mentioned now, there. But if it were in the urban area, Pan Africa TV would have picked it up.
Yes, that's true.
you understand?
That's true.
So this certain thing, this certain thing about the government. You know what I think NPP is doing? It's a Goebbelian deception, Goebbelian lie. Keep hammering, keep hammering on that thing, even though it's a lie, you just keep hammering on it. Every time it will be accepted as true. What is the sentence? No, when you say settings, look, for instance, today, the kind of government we subscribe to as a people, it is participatory democracy. We have a president who understands that, indeed, from time to time, you need to take feedback from the people. So the president has established what is called presidential dialogue. To dialogue with certain group of people, to dialogue with certain segment of society to get feedback. So if you had opportunity and you were unable to do something like that, and somebody is doing it today, you call it settings. That person is doing something that is in keeping with the spirit of what we are subscribed to as the participatory democracy. And you know, Baba said that they are afraid of their image. Of course, government should be afraid of its image. A government that is not afraid of its image is a reckless, irresponsible government.
But the people should know the truth.
No,
of the government.
The thing is that if government should be always be afraid of its image. Government should always do things not to get its image smashed or swelled in any way. And that is what the government is doing. That government is a government that is sensitive and responsive to the needs of the people. And that's exactly what these people are doing. And you people tell me
government cares about its image.
Exactly.
More than solving the problems of the people.
No, it's not like more than.
But if you care about your image,
if you care about your image, you work. If you care about your image, you work.
You said that the MPP position that the government is doing settings is not true.
It's a Goebbelian lie.
Well, which cannot be lies. If the government is not doing settings, and on the 12th of March, what the energy minister told us was that Doomsor was over. On the 3rd of April, on the 10th
he never made that categorical statement.
On the 3rd of April, again, he told us.
Check that thing for
again, he told us that Doomsor was solved. Just this May, as a lot of Ghanaians were agitating and making noise about Doomsor, on the 1st of May, again, he told us that Doomsor, the situation has been fixed. Is that not what we were told? So if we have this frequent memos, or should I say presence of the energy minister telling us that Doomsor is fixed. If we have an energy minister and his government that tries to take discussions from
Mr. Host, he's making reference to date. Check whether the minister in this said what he said. The minister never makes such a
But you see, to be fair, Baba, to be fair, the minister, even with this, I mean, with the very last comment you made regarding Doomsor, it had to do with the Akosombo issue that was fixed.
Yes.
I mean, before that,
when the Akosombo incident was fixed, what did the minister tell us? Is it not just because of your lights going off and my lights going off? When he came to tell us that the lights problem has been fixed, and yet still I wake up this morning and my people don't have light. You don't have light. You don't have light. Then it's loud that the minister is not being honest. And so that is the settings we are talking about.
There's something that all of us agree with, whether MPP or NDC or whatever. Before the Akosombo issues, lights were going off.
Yes.
Sure. We all agree with
light will always go off. It depends on the frequent nature with which lights are going off. The
Akosombo issue only worsened. It worsened an already existing situation.
Yes.
So there was doom. So, but I remember when the Akosombo issue happened. For my place, I think we went 24 hours without lights. A whole 24 hours, no light, because of that particular issue. And so I didn't understand why and that was a novelty in my neighborhood. For the very first time, people of McCarthy Hill, we went 24 hours without electricity. That is not to say that our light wasn't going off before the Akosombo issue. It was, you understand. Now, what the minister came to tell us was that, of course, like I said, the Akosombo issue exacerbated an already existing situation. That we do know. So even after the Akosombo issue was fixed, it wasn't a panacea to the already existing electricity problem. Because before Akosombo, we were told that transformers were being replaced. And that exercise would continue for 2 years.
So the fact here is that there's doom. So after a year and months of NDC taking over, there's doom. So my brother said that, and my brother said that during the time of the MPP there was doom. So
yes,
no one in the MPP said there was never doom. So during the regime of the MPP government, no one said there was no doom. So what we are saying is that NDC didn't inherit doom so from us. On the 1st of May 2024, that was when Nanado told us that the challenges have been fixed. That was in May. So Nanado never said that there was no doom. So when government took steps to fix this doomsday situation, which the government said it has to do a lot with our financial situation. When government fixed it, Nanado announced to us it was fixed.
But you remember
so
when
NDC never inherited a situation that there was no light.
But May came before June, right?
We are in does it mean that if they inherited a doomsday economy, does it mean that from the 8th of January, government has been fighting to fix the situation of doomsday till today?
Of course, that
or is it the situation that we've been enjoying power until now that we are facing the situation of doomsday?
No, as an activist.
And one thing we must understand is that it is always this NDC government that tells us that they are giving us solution, or they are those fixing the situation of doomsday. Yet still, it is always under the same NDC that we face frequent power outages. We like I am saying, it isn't the situation that under MPP we didn't face power outages, but the situation is not like we are facing today. So why is it that the government that is fixing doomsday is the government that we face more of doomsday? It was even under that same government that we coined the name doomsday because of the frequent power outages that we face. If you come to my own region, even if we don't know of the largest floating solar plant that this MPP government has done, but when you come to Jirapa, the MPP government has constructed a solar power plant there. If you go to Laura, they did the same. Ekeleo, they did the same. So those are steps that the MPP also took to ensure that we have enough generation capacity. But if you have enough generation capacity and you are not able to generate more like the country needs to have the light on, we will continue to face the situation of doomsday because you don't have enough, or you don't. The fact of the matter here is that these arrests that are happening, I want to come back to the situation of PDS. The fact is that they want to take discussions of Dumso. And I just want to you don't want to put yourself in the shoes of the NDC, and I don't want to put you in the shoes of the NDC as you don't want to be there. But the fact of the matter is that all these arrests that are happening in line with PDS, like 4 people arrested, the allegations that were made. What the people want is that there's increased tariffs that we are paying. That is what the people want to be addressed. The arrest that is ongoing, what the people need is that the Dumso situation rather should be arrested more than arresting people. Let's ask the question of, after the arrest, what's next? Does it reduce my electricity tariffs? And that is the question my brother and you should be asking. Will this reduce the electricity tariffs after the allegations of corruption? After those monies are retrieved, how do we as citizens that are paying these huge sums to the ECG for the monies to be transferred like Momo transactions into accounts of either some 4 people are transferring it, or it's transferred into the accounts of these 4 people? What the people need is that their lives should be on and not just arrest. Yes, everyone wants a thief in a government office to be arrested. But the question is, what next? What is the government doing after the arrest? Will that fix our energy situation? Will that reduce the electricity tariffs that you and I are paying? That is what Ghanaians are interested in, and not all about these settings, agenda settings, and turning the minds of people from Dumso and all other stuff that are happening. For me, oral, the soul of oral, like I have said, has left it. There's no credibility.
Let me ask a general question to the two of you. Has our energy situation improved? Has it improved? I'm not saying that. I'm not asking if it has been entirely solved. Has it improved since the Akosombo issue was fixed? Let me start with you.
You mean this recent Akosombo?
Yes.
Yes. There's some improvement. Okay. To be sincere, there's been some improvement, because the days that we were told that we all saw on videos and on Facebook pictures of Akosombo issue, the way the lies, the frequent nature in which lies were going off and the complaints that were coming is far more than we are seeing today. So yes, that issue being addressed has addressed a part of the Dumso challenge that we are facing. But it hasn't solved the issue of Dumso, because my people back home are still suffering frequent power outages. Even you are suffering.
Yes, I'm speaking, and I'll speak particularly to my issue. Yeah, I mean, for where I live. Since the Akosombo issue was rectified, okay, like I said, my lights have gone off, but not for long hours again. My light hasn't been taken for even as long as an hour ever since the Akosombo issue was fixed. So today went on, and I don't know why that is. I don't know why they take the lights off for 10 minutes and then restore it, and then
that is even more dangerous.
Yes, I think about an hour later they took it off again, I think for about 20 minutes, and then they restored. When I was leaving home, I had lights. That was like even 2 hours after they had restored.
And this means that there's no guarantee as to whether they will be lights when
but then again, like I said, this is not the first time it is happening. But except that it doesn't go for long hours again. That's why I was asking particularly if the situation has improved. Also, there is a critical issue that one NDC communicator raised on this platform, I think somewhere last week, with regards to the energy issue, and I hope that I believe that my brother Salom is listening to me on this particular one. So you go to certain communities, even here in Accra, they've been using the same transformer for decades. For some communities, as long as 3 decades, for 30 years, it's been the same transformer serving, that community. And the load that transformer is supposed to carry is now burdened because of development. You understand? And so, let's say for instance, you take Abelempe as it is now. 30 years ago, 20 years ago, the population of Abelempe isn't what it currently is today. And so it is axiomatic that the energy needs of the people of Abelempe 20 years ago and 20 years later, which is today, would be very different. The energy needs of the people would have increased because the population of the community has increased. There are new houses, there are new companies around. Pan-Africa TV, we consume a lot of power over here. We came into being just 10 years ago. In September of 2026 will be 10 years old. Other establishments have come up and they are on that grade. And so isn't it trite knowledge that these transformers would face issues because of the load on it now? And
but that takes us to the question of the installed capacity and generation capacity, as to whether the population increase outweighs the installed capacity of power generation.
It is one thing, I mean, as to what we generate, or as to what we are able to generate, or what we can generate, we know. Yes. We understand that we should be generating around 4,000 to 5,000.
More than we need.
Yeah, more than we actually
so that
need.
Means that
yes, more than
the increase in population
but the fact that
should not affect.
No, they should not affect. But then the infrastructure carrying the power to the homes of the people, as to whether, look, electricity, when it comes to electricity, your iron, even the iron you use at home, yes, may not be able to carry a certain megawatts, yes, of power.
Yes.
Of power. And so it's and same applies to these transformers.
Yes.
Some of them may not be able to carry the load that is expected of them because of the
yes. Is it what you're saying here? Mm-hmm. We are trying to be holding brief for people who are appointed to work. You see, they have the technical know-how.
I agree.
Thank you. To see that this a particular transformer, mm-hmm, it's for want of a better expression,
it's obsolete.
Obsolete, yeah. Correct. Obsolete. They have the technical know-how to do it. Okay, mine is that I have a regular, reliable, uninterrupted power supply.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm not receiving that, I will have to start protesting. Because you are not doing your part of the bargain. You understand? So, me as a layperson, I don't know the lifespan of those transformers. You understand? I don't know how long those transformers can work before they become obsolete, or because they begin to become obsolescent. You understand? I don't know. But the thing is that those who are mandated, the duty bearers, whose duty it is to fix those problems, must fix the problem. You understand? As a citizen, mine is to always guide them into action. You see, to say something, because of the time now, I can see our time will up very soon. Baba said that oral, the investigation, the findings of the oral committee were nothing but garbage. Certain individuals were involved in getting the work of oral out into the public. The Honorable Okujeto Ablakwa, Mr. Domelevo, the former Auditor General, a man of certain integrity, you understand, enviable integrity. Martin Kpebu, Mr. What's the name? Kofi Boache.
Former Assistant Commissioner of Police.
Good. Yeah. A crack lawyer, okay, yeah, and an investigator. You see, you said something about the Attorney General, okay. That committee did their findings and presented their findings to the president. The president forwarded it to his principal legal legal advisor, the Attorney General. The Attorney General had done some investigation in respect of some of the findings and had started prosecuting certain individuals. Today, the Attorney General is telling us that no, we have chanced on some evidence. So the person we have started prosecuting, that prosecution is halted now because of the new evidence we have found. This is akin to the same move the Attorney General is making in respect of the OSP. Can you get a connection? Because do you know today if the OSP, the Attorney General, succeeds in getting the courts to endorse or have the what he's praying, if that prayer is upheld by the courts today, that the OSP doesn't have independent prosecutorial powers to do any such prosecutions that they are doing, do you know all those cases will just come to a hot boom like that? Then that will be like indirect application for nolle prosequi. Do you get it? It means the gentleman who has failed, who refused to come to Ghana today, Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta, our former finance minister, our former finance minister, will be left off the hook. So this thing that, because you know sometimes Baba, you know how politics work. Sometimes some people too, because of their own whatever, they may be doing something to also discredit certain individuals. So me, where I see it, the findings of Ora, they make sense to me. The onus is on the Attorney General to get those people prosecuted. If he cannot get those people prosecuted, he should resign and get somebody. So we have somebody who is more enthusiastic and zealous to get those corrupt individuals prosecuted, possibly convicted, and their loot retrieved. That's what the kind of Attorney General we want. That's it. So to say that the soul of Ora, for some of us, inshallah, as long as we continue to breathe, to have our to be in full possession of our faculty, Ora, the soul of Ora will never leave Ora. The soul of Ora would never leave Ora. We will continue to put Ora where Ora should be placed. That's it. So to say that its soul has left it, it's never true. Ora is still there and looming large. That's it.
But that supports my point that Oral has lost the position that you have even elaborated. Supports my point that the soul of Oral has left.
It hasn't.
Oral, by what we were told, by the promises that we heard when the NDC was in opposition, is that they have enough facts.
Did you listen to them, or you were joining them?
You and I listened. We all heard Ablakwa, we heard Malik Baksentali, we heard Sam George. We all heard Sam George. We heard Malik Baksentali. We heard Ablakwa. All said that they have enough proof of the kind of corruption that is ongoing under the NPP government. And when they come to power with Ora, they were going to make sure that they retrieve all those funds. You know the huge sums that we had.
Yes.
Till date, let's ask the question of how much has been retrieved. How much have we retrieved with Ora? With the prosecutions that they seek to do, have they been able to give enough documental proof to the AG with those plenty sheets that we saw that were handed over to John Dramani Mahama, our president? What the action of the AG, which I am saying has proven that the soul of Oral has left it, is telling us that the documents Oral presented to him have no proof for him to prosecute anyone. And that is why just today, the case against Honorable Hanan was dropped and fresh charges are to be put before Iyoko.
But the statement didn't say, or yes, they never stated it anywhere, or in that statement that the prosecution that they started.
What did the prosecution seek to do? What did the AG seek to do?
Didn't we hear the investigation that brought about that prosecution that the evidence and the investigation outcome was a sloppy one.
What didn't we hear the AG say that he didn't have enough evidence to advance that case?
The AG.
That tells you that
in
the documents that the
buffer stock
presented.
Was it in the buffer stock?
In the buffer stock case.
Was it in the buffer stock case, or it was a general statement that he made?
A statement on the cases presented to him.
He said some of them.
He said some.
He said some.
But this is a clear case.
That is why I was asking you.
If the allegations of the AG against Hanan has been dropped,
then it means that
it means that it is among one of those cases that he said Oral hasn't given him enough proof. And that means that the action of the AG is telling us that the soul of Oral has left it.
No.
No. See, yes. You know, I want to say something.
You look dejected for me.
Well, I mean, as much as people like you and the Ghanaian people would say that, look, let's prosecute people who have raped the public person and, you know, jilted this country, you know. As much as we continue to say that, and with all this oral and everything that has come up, I would side with the MPP because they have repeatedly there are people you want to prosecute.
Yes.
Most of the people that you are prosecuting are there, or you want to prosecute, or who are alleged to have been involved in corruption are their people.
Yes.
And they are telling you that what you are doing is much ado about nothing.
Yes.
And so if you are not giving, they are goading you. They are goading you, and you still do not have any.
So that is it. The question is, if Oral tells us that a worker here is involved in some level of corruption, will you believe them? When they haven't been able to feed the Attorney General with those huge documents, any proof for a single person
as much as we want
the
Oral to work, the MPP says, look, we are free of blemish. We are not. You can't. We haven't done anything wrong. This person hasn't done anything wrong. If you want, go and find the evidence and
prove it right in court that this person has done something
largely for some of these cases, we've not seen anything happen there. So it's been NATO. It's been no action, talk only. It's been NATO, no action, talk only. So you said that look at this Honorable Chinia case.
Yes.
What didn't Malik Basinta say?
Yes.
I saw him on TV.
But he was recently called into.
When he was called, he said that Honorable Chinia had returned
and he said
what he acquired.
And
that is where I asked the question.
You know my problem with that?
Does it mean that the radio station that he said Honorable Chinia built on a government land, does the radio station or the land now belongs to government?
Sometimes I suspect there's a collaboration between the MPP and the NDC.
There's no collaboration. They are being dishonest.
I'm tempted to believe that there's a certain collaboration. That is what would
the NDC is simply being dishonest.
That makes
what collaboration
who are accused of corruption.
What collaboration will make the MPP give Hanan out for him to be arrested, kept in the local cells with those outrageous bail conditions? His wife added
for
which optics? For weeks. And the NDC and the MPP demonstrates at for the release of Hanan, and even after a week there was no release. So there's no collaborating between MPP and the NDC. They are just being dishonest with us.
As far back as 2004.
It was for the politics.
2004, before the 2004 election, I'd gone to a friend at Pig Farm, and they were discussing politics. Then this friend, it's something, because what he said, from time to time the thing like pops up in my mind. He said, Charlie, you know, see MPP and NDC, they go do something behind the scene. This one go shout, corruption, corruption, corruption. Then we go vote, give that one. He come, no. Then the other one to go start corruption, corruption. So behind the scene, Charlie, if you shout with them, vote give you, that be you to your opportunity. You know, Mr. Chachu Chikata, the renowned lawyer. He recently appeared on a KSM show. God, and he said something that is so reflective of what you said. He said, given what what Ghanaians saw when the NPP was in power. If oral fails, it will become like some collusion between NDC and NPP to continue to loot this country. That's Mr. Chachuchikata. You can trace that video. I watched the thing this morning. He said if Aura fails, that will be because people
that will like, be the picture.
The picture.
Yeah.
People, and indeed it's true. You understand? Because people, you remember one key person figure in this government said that, oh, before politics we were friends, we were mates, we were this, we are family ties. So this thing that because we are in politics we shouldn't appear friendly or whatever. And I said, what's this person? What's this person saying? Look, Baba, NPP and NDC people, we are not saying they cannot be friends. You can be friends, but when it comes to the interest of pursuing this, pursuing the interest of this country, that friendship there, it must have its place. You understand? So, Aura, bless. For some of us, we will continue to be giving that energy that the Aura needs. You understand? So that it doesn't become comatose, because we need it. So if Aura fails, what is the NDC even going to use to campaign? They are going to tell us the number of kilometers of road they constructed, the number of hospitals they constructed. But those things are supposed to be done by government. Okay, so it will not be a novelty. If government tells us that we have built 5 hospitals within the 4 years mandate that you gave us, but do
you have any hope in Oral so far with what they are doing? With the evidence that they are giving out to AG and the government to prosecute people, do you have any hope that something better will be done?
Do I have hope?
Do you have any hope in Oral as to whether something better will be done?
No, something better should be done.
So we all share in that position of something better should be done, because Oral heightened the hopes of the people, and that is why you even refer to Chachuchikata saying that if Oral fails, then it will appear as though there's a collaborated effort between the NPP and the NDC. Because they made us to understand that they were coming to do something. They were coming to fix the problem of corruption. Because I just complained to you. I just complained to you about our road. I just complained to you about our road. Why is our roads not getting fixed? Is it not because of corruption?
Yes.
Why are we complaining of our water situation? Is it not because of corruption? Why are we complaining of electricity? Is it not because of corruption? It is not because this country doesn't have enough resources to generate money that will fix all these problems. It is because most of these monies end in the pockets of some individuals. But when you come and raise allegations that this person has spent this, it doesn't mean that the person also have that right for you. The person have that right to also sue you if you lie against the person. For us all holding to it that yes, corruption is something that the NDC detests, I detest it, my brother here detests. It doesn't mean that when you raise allegations for reasons of politics, for the reason that you want to take the MPP government out or the NDC government out, we should agree with you. No. After which, when the allegations are the reason why the people give you the mandate, then we hold you to fulfill that mandate.
Of course.
When you tell us that you will use Oral to prosecute all these people, and now your utterances are against what you said before. That, let's even say Honorable Anibi the Chinia situation, for instance. Let's say he has released the land back to government. Does it mean that when I steal something from you and you take the thing from me, does that end the crime?
No, doesn't.
So the MPP is saying that with what Oral is doing, with what we are seeing so far, with the evidence being given or the excuse of evidence being given to the AG, and with what the AG is saying is not enough proof, that means that it was used for the sake of power. They use it to lie against the people.
Rhetoric. Right.
To lie against the people.
Thank you very much.
So they have power.
So you are saying that the hoodwinkers.
Me and you.
Yes. The hoodwinkers.
Me and you.
That it was a vote-catching rhetoric. Right.
Okay. Bless. I have this because in the course of my submission, I talk about this flood victims thing. I think I'll have to repeat that and make an impassioned plea to the government that the victims of the VRA or the dam spillage, they are still, there's some agitation now on the ground that the government actually promised to give them something to alleviate their plight, but that thing is not forthcoming. I am appealing to those duty bearers whose duty it is to get those things for those flood victims to have them, because you go to South Tongue, North Tongue, Central Tongue, especially those Central Tongue, those in Zotikpo, Bakba, Atitekpo, Dokpo, like all those areas, Dover, all those areas. Look, the dam spillage hit them. It devastated them. So if you promise to give them something to give them some respite, government should deliver on that. And I, as a media house, please, I'd like you guys to go into this thing, so that because you know government has competing needs. So if government, for instance, has allocated funds for something today, and maybe they realize that there's nothing happening in that front, they may, you understand, decide to channel it to because Charlie, those people, the victims are still, they are still, their situation is still nothing to write about. They're still in some sorry state.
Right.
So as a media house, I'm again appealing to you.
Thank you, Salon Manager Mado. Thank you, Baba Wala. It's been a pleasure having you on our show. I hear you, and I understand you have a huge following on Facebook. Oh, yeah. Unfortunately, today we didn't stream on Facebook. We have an issue, but we streamed on YouTube. So, okay. Yes, we streamed on YouTube. Thank you so much for your time. It's been another.
You have to give him a cut.
Of
cut
course,
some of his ambitions for him.
So
that today you didn't put your this thing in the background.
When he said
your national agenda.
No, but it's here. When he shared the flyer, I went to read it. He doesn't know that I've read the comment. I read the comment. Somebody told him that, somebody commented that he's coming to face 2 NDC people.
Am I NDC? But let me ask you, do I sound it appear NDC?
The person is coming to, the person said,
I need this one as a feedback.
No. The person said he was coming to an NDC station to face 2 NDC people. So if even me, the host,
you are NDC.
The person has labeled me.
I can't say you spoke like, no, I can't say you.
Do I give off NDC energy?
No, maybe not today. Maybe those making the comments are rather judging from other.
It is an erroneous perception.
Yes, I'm saying that for today, I can't say that you are NDC. Maybe the person is judging you from other.
Baba has been baptized on the national agenda program.
Right.
Then from time to time, Baba will be appearing here.
You know.
Baba, as and when that you see that vibe, that NDC vibe,
let me know.
I'm sure with your level of articulation, you'll be able to put that thing out.
Sure.
All right.